Hello there, Toonami. Absolutely cracking day to talk about our beloved Newcastle United, isn't it? The sun's shining a bit brighter over St. James's Park these days. And there's plenty to discuss about the best team in the world. What do you think about Villa's interest in our Harvey Barnes? Would you be willing to let him go if it means we could bring Jacob Ramsey to Tyneside? And how excited are you about Alexander Isac potentially breaking Alan Shearer's goal-scoring record for Newcastle? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Part 1. Harvey Barnes transfer speculation. Let's talk about our Harvey Barnes, shall we? The lad has been absolutely phenomenal for us this season, hasn't he? 9 goals and 5 assists in black and white is nothing to scoff at. The former Leicester man has been in such blistering form that he's even kept our England international, Anthony Gordon, watching from the sidelines at times. And that's saying something. Since joining us from Leicester City for $39 million in the summer of 2023, Barnes has been a revelation at St. James's Park. 14 goals and 8 assists in 60 appearances might not sound earth-shattering on paper, but anyone who watches Newcastle week in and week out knows just how crucial he's been. Remember his performance in the Carabao Cup final? Absolutely brilliant, wasn't he? The way he took on defenders, created chances, and linked up with our other attacking options was a joy to behold. But here's where things get a bit concerning for us Newcastle supporters. According to recent reports, Aston Villa have shown interest in our flying winger. Now, I don't know about you, but the thought of losing Barnes to a direct Premier League and Champions League rival doesn't sit well with me at all. Thankfully, it seems our brilliant manager Eddie Howe feels exactly the same way. According to the Chronicle, Newcastle United have taken a firm stance on this potential transfer. There's only one thing that could possibly tempt the club into selling Barnes, particularly to a rival like Villa, and that's a significant profit on the $40 million we paid for him. Given his performances and importance to the team, you'd have to imagine we'd be looking at a fee north of $60 million at the very least. What makes this transfer saga even more interesting is the PSR angle. We all remember how those cursed profit and sustainability rules forced us to sell promising talents like Elliot Anderson and Yankuba Minte last summer. It was gut-wrenching for us fans, wasn't it? Watching homegrown talent like Anderson leave because of some financial regulations rather than footballing reasons. It's not what our Newcastle United is about, but this summer, Eddie Howe has confirmed that Newcastle are looking to use those same PSR rules to our advantage. There are whispers, and I must stress they're unconfirmed, that Aston Villa might need to make a significant player sale by June 30th to comply with those same regulations. Football's a funny old game, isn't it? The tables have turned, and now we might be the ones benefiting from another club's financial predicament. This is where it gets even more intriguing. Reports suggest Newcastle are interested in Villa's own Jacob Ramsey. Now there's a talent. The young Englishman has shown tremendous potential, and imagining him in our black and white stripes is quite exciting, isn't it? He'd fit right into Howe's system with his energy, technical ability, and eye for goal. Could we see some sort of player exchange between the two clubs? It's certainly possible. Whether it's Barnes heading to Villa Park or Ramsey making the journey to St. James's, there might be some significant player trading between Newcastle and Villa this summer. Personally, I'd hate to see Barnes leave. His directness, his finishing ability, his work rate. He embodies everything we love about this Newcastle United team under Eddie Howe. But football is a business as much as a sport these days. And if his departure could strengthen our squad in other areas, perhaps it's something worth considering. What's your take on it? Would you accept losing Barnes if it meant bringing in Ramsey? Or should we fight tooth and nail to keep our current squad together while adding even more quality? It's a difficult one, isn't it? One thing's for certain though. Eddie Howe and our recruitment team have rarely put a foot wrong since the takeover. If they do decide to let Barnes go, you can bet they'll have a solid plan in place to ensure Newcastle United continues its upward trajectory. After all, we're not just building for next season, we're building for the long haul, and that sometimes means making tough decisions. The summer transfer window promises to be an exciting one for us Newcastle fans. With Champions League football potentially on the horizon again, we'll need to strengthen the squad to compete on multiple fronts. Whether Barnes remains a part of that journey or not remains to be seen. But I, for one, am looking forward to seeing how it all unfolds. Well, onto some more exciting news now. And this one's got me practically bouncing off the walls with excitement. Our Swedish superstar, Alexander Isac, is being tipped to potentially break Alan Shearer's Newcastle United goal-scoring record. And not by just anyone, but by Super Al's former strike partner, our very own Shola Amayobi. Now let's take a moment to appreciate what Isac has already accomplished at Newcastle. Since his $63 million arrival from Real Sociedad in 2022, the Gus 25-year-old has notched up an impressive 62 goals in 107 appearances. That's more than a goal every 2 games. This season alone, he's bagged 27 goals. Absolutely phenomenal numbers for a player still adapting to the rigors of English football. And let's not forget, the lad has already helped us secure our first major piece of silverware in 70 years. 70 years. Many of us have waited our entire lives to see Newcastle lift a trophy, and Isac has been instrumental in making that dream a reality. The scenes at Wembley were unforgettable, weren't they? The black and white army in full voice, our players lifting that trophy, and Isac right in the thick of it all. Of course, breaking Shearer's record of 206 goals is no small feat. That's a mountain to climb for any striker, regardless of their talent. But if there's one player currently in our ranks who could potentially do it, it's Alexander Isac. He's not just a goal poacher. He's the complete package. Pace, power, technical, ability, and a football brain beyond his years. Shola Amayobi, who sits 17th in our all-time scoring standings, with 79 goals, and spent 6 years playing alongside the legendary Shearer, certainly seems to think Isac has what it takes. I played with Alan, and know the level that he was able to attain, Amayobi said. Alex is still young in his career, but you look at his age and what he's already been able to do. The sky is the limit. What's particularly exciting for us Newcastle fans is that Amayobi believes Isac still has plenty of room for improvement. Imagine that. A player already performing at this elite level with still a lot of development to be had. It's a mouth-watering prospect, isn't it? Amayobi compared Isac to Mohamed Salah in terms of his current standing in the Premier League. High praise indeed, and he highlighted qualities beyond just Isac's footballing ability that could help him reach those historic heights. He's humble, he's got humility, he wants to learn, and everything that he's done for this club since he's arrived has been world-class. Perhaps the most exciting comment from Amayobi was his assertion that, when he's at his best, there's no defender that can stop him from scoring goals. He's just that good. And haven't we seen that time and again this season? The way Isac glides past defenders, as if they're not even there. The composure he shows in front of goal. The variety of finishes in his locker. He's a defender's worst nightmare. The talk of Champions League qualification adds another layer to this story. If Isac can fire us into Europe's elite competition for the second time in 3 years, His legendary status will only grow. With 3 games remaining, including a crucial clash with Chelsea, our Champions League qualification remains in our own hands. It's not just about Isac, of course. Eddie Howe deserves enormous credit for the job he's done at Newcastle. Amiobi compared him to the great Sir Bobby Robson, saying, "Howe is cut from the same cloth." And there can be no higher praise than that for a Newcastle manager. Amiobi even suggested that Howe could become one of the greatest Newcastle managers if he continues on his current trajectory. The culture that Howe has created at Newcastle, the belief he's instilled in the players, the style of football we're playing, it all contributes to Isac's success and the team's overall progression. As Amiobi said, bringing a trophy to the club has given us that little impetus to know that we can compete and go again. And compete we will, with Isac leading the line, Champions League football potentially on the horizon again, and a manager who understands what Newcastle United means to its fans. These are exciting times to be a part of the Toon Army. The skies above St James's Park are no longer grey, they're black and white with possibility. Whether Isac eventually breaks Shearer's record or not, he's already cemented his place in Newcastle United folklore. And at just 25 years old, he could be terrorising Premier League defences in our famous black and white stripes for many years to come. What a thought that is! Well, that's all from St James's Park for today, lads and lasses. Keep supporting the best team in the world, and I'll be back with more updates soon. The summer transfer window is just around the corner. Our champions, league hopes are very much alive, and Alexander Isak continues to dazzle in black and white. It doesn't get much better than this for Newcastle fans, does it? Away the lads!